Hi, this is Zach from TeachLink. Today I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of the software and how it can benefit you. So this is a screen you'll first see when you get to the site, myteachlink.com. It'll just give you a little overview of the entire site, what it does, and we can start by logging in. So this gives you an overview of everything that's going on in your school. As an administrator, you can see the evaluation statuses, learning objectives, SLOs that you've received recently, teachers' lesson plans, discipline referrals. Someone got sent down to the office and they need to respond. I can see I have a status here of pending, so that's something I need to respond to. Parent contacts, that's just generic parent contacts, someone that's called home or emailed home and logged that in the system. Save and continue. And now you can see that we have the entire MDE form here in electronic form. So we can add and remove students with the student population, learning standards, baseline data, assessments, and so on. So first thing we can do is say pre-assessment date. So if we're going to do a pre-test, post-test, we'll say that's tomorrow. Post-assessment date, we can fill that in when we actually do it at the end of the year. Attachments, if you want to attach your test to it, to send to the admins. So we'll show you add and remove students. We can see students, we have a bunch of demo students in here we'll pick to add them to the objective. And these are from the school. Update student list, now they actually show up in our student list. As well as in the suggestions, we get a little some pre-populated information about these students that you can use to copy and paste in if you'd like. So that tells their statuses, their ages, and things like that. For learning standards, we actually have a learning standard finder tool that's actually from the Common Standards project. So you can click Add Edit Standards. We'll go down and find the state, so let's say Michigan. And I believe I said this was algebra, correct? So we're going to go Common Core Mathematics, High School Algebra, and we can choose our learning standards. They're all right here. If you don't see your standards there, we have the ability to edit them as well. So click Save and Return, and now all of our learning standards are there. The rest of these, if you want to add other standards that you didn't find, or and the rest of these are just the MDE form. I'm not going to go over this too far in depth. This is a really cool part though. We can add test scores, so we can click Add Edit Test Scores, and for these students we added, we can put in pre-assessed scores. So I'm just going to put a few examples. Test name, we'll just say test, say pre/post test, full year, we'll say. It's going to be 100 points total on this test, and this is where we can choose our evaluation formula. So simple average says you have to get halfway between your score and 100. That's one formula that the MDE likes. You can do leveled growth. These are where you can actually define a range and say, okay, if you want 0 to 10, for example, student needs to get a 40 to be considered as shown growth. So I'm just going to do simple average for now. And let's put some post-assess scores in here too, just so you can show the whole thing. And let's go to 90 here. You can also exempt students if you'd like to. If you'd say we can say exempt, too many absences. And that way they can show the administrators, hey, I can't really teach this kid because they weren't in school. Save changes and return. And now we actually can see right here, easy calculation, 3 students showed growth, 3 students did not show growth rather, 2 students did show growth, and 1 was exempted. So that's a brief overview of the learning objectives. The teacher can then submit it to the administrator can approve or send it back for revision right from the dashboard. Next, we have our lesson planning feature. Once again, from the administrator side, you can see all your teachers' lesson plans right here. You don't have to ask them for them every week or have them email you or come from 30 different sources. They're all right here in the dashboard. As a teacher, very simple lesson planner. You can click Add a Class. We'll say, and let's say we have this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. And so now all of a sudden we have a class. We can say, put our topic in here, what we're learning about that day, standards. We can put our learning standards in here. Same standards finder as before. Although the nice thing is this will actually save your location, so you don't have to go dig through Michigan math and everything. So after I do this once, I'll show you that it will save it. So algebra, just grab a couple of these, add selected. And now when I go to the next day and click add section, if I do a standard section and add, I don't have to go back through everything. I can add those standards. So really streamlines the process. If you want to copy, have the same layout the next day, let me put it. You can actually just copy everything over. So you say copy or overwrite lesson rather with lesson from date. We can choose that Wednesday and overwrite. It's going to pull everything over for us, or we can just drag things over. The next part of our software that I'm going to talk about is the discipline referrals. So when we click on discipline referrals, once I get to the discipline referral screen, I can click add new, and I can start to fill it out. So I'm going to say I'll do myself here, and I'm actually going to send it to myself so you can see what the admin side looks like. And so I'm going to do that. And choose from the list there. Incident time, we'll say it happened now. Location, I'll say hallway outside of room 304. And this is where we're going to describe the incident. Say Zach did something wrong. Now we actually can submit this to the administrator. Yes, I'd like to continue. And we can see that over here we actually are awaiting a response. So it's a pending response and our job is done for now. Moving on to the contact logger, really simple part of the program. All you can see all the parent contacts, and the teachers can just log these. So if they want to have proof that they did contact a parent, if a parent's coming up to the administrator and saying, hey, I never have heard from this teacher, they can show, okay, I had contact here, this is what I said. So this is how they do this. Just click add new, choose a student. So once again, I'll just choose myself. Date and time, person contacted, I'll say mother, and what we talked about. Finally, we have the evaluation software, and this really ties everything together. So as before, you can see the list of all your teachers' evaluations. I'm going to go to user view, and I can choose my template for the year. The admin can set this up as well. I'm going to say I'm a probationary teacher, and when we click that, you can see your entire year is laid out for you. So as a teacher, when I want to submit my IDP, I can click in here and say, I can type this out. We can fill this out. Once we're done, we can either download it as a PDF or submit it. I'm just going to submit it real quick. And we can see it's pending response. So I go back to my evaluation, and I can see, okay, this IDP is submitted. I'm waiting for the administrator to approve it. The administrator then can also do walkthroughs on here. So the administrator can click on walkthrough 1, for example. Choose the date. So we'll say the 22nd, even though it's in the past, and algebra. And you can see that'll pull in the lesson plan for that day. So you don't have to go ask them for a lesson plan. You just know what's happening or what's supposed to be happening on that day when you come in. So once you've filled out the entire year and you have your walkthroughs and everything done, you can then head to the final evaluation. And once again, this is just an example form that we've created. Plug in the scores. So for example, we have this. We can say 3, 4, 2, and 5. And this isn't specific to any evaluation model. You can use any evaluation model. This is just simply a worksheet to help you calculate the final scores. And we can say the SLO scores. You can see the teacher had a 1 on their SLO score. Their final evaluation score. So then we can say the domain scores were a 3. SLO scores were a 1. And they had a 2.5. And this is where we can choose actually in our rating, okay, they're actually minimally effective. And maybe we say, see me, let's figure out what to do next year, or something like that. So that's the basics of the TeachLink software. We hope you enjoy it and it makes your life a lot easier. Thanks for watching.